Welcome to all. Good morning and good evening. Now it is, I think, fourth day. We are just discussing about acupressure. We have discussed Chinese acupressure as well as Ayurvedic acupressure. First of all, before starting, we should chant three times Om and then we'll start. Spine straight, Dhyan Mudra, then Om. 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 Now we were discussing Chinese as well as Ayurvedic acupressure, but this is the thinking of Ayurvedic acupressure. This is Acupressure Shodh Praशिक्षण Upchar Sansthan, Prayagraj, that we should also learn the modern science too. That's why basics of human bodies has been given as a chapter, as a book, and on that book, particularly today, Devika Rani, she is a faculty for this BHB, and she will discuss about blood today. So please welcome Devika Rani, and I just hand over to Devika Rani. Thank you, Devika. Welcome.
Thank you, Arvind sir. Welcome, everybody. Just please pardon me for not being able to open my video today due to some network issues. Like I'll be logged out because I'll be presenting also if I open my video due to bandwidth issues. So, as Arvind sir said that yes, whenever we read BHB now, Basics of Human Body, we have to keep in mind now that we will be treating people, and this will be telling us about our body. So today's chapter, blood, is a very important chapter. When you will treat in acupressure various people for various diseases, they will have different issues, and many of them will come to you with blood reports. Now, if you're not aware of what are the constituents in that report, or what does blood consist of, you will not be able to help them. So that is why a basic knowledge about blood is very, very important. And in most of the infections these days, the first thing the doctor suggests is to go for a blood test. So knowing the components of blood is very, very important. Now I'll just start the sharing. In case you're not able to see it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll continue. So we all have done the chapter of cells, and we know that cells to function, they require oxygen, they require nutrition. So our body in total then requires nutrition, oxygen to be able to function properly. Now, when when we talk of a body unit as a whole, there are different cells in different parts of our body. And this nutrition and oxygen and other elements need to reach to different places within our body. But how will that happen? There needs to be a medium to do so, right? So this medium is blood, which will ensure as it travels across the body that all the cells get the required components, the nutrition, the oxygen, and whatever it requires to function to the optimum level. So its role is very, very important. If homeostasis of the body needs to be maintained, if the body needs to be disease free, if we need to be healthy, the transport of different nutrients, oxygen, and other components into the cell is very, very important. So, what is this blood? It is a specialized fluid connective tissue. Now, when we say connective tissue, it connects basically, throughout your body. The cell is what is a connective tissue? It connects, right? It connects all the components. It then also connects with your different cells. It is there throughout the body as one whole unit. So it is connected throughout as a tissue. And it also then enables the passage of these nutrients, oxygen, and other components into the cell. So it becomes a fluid because it is in a fluidic form, a fluid connective tissue. Now, the plasma, just like a cell has different organelles suspended in it, so the blood has different or living cells and plasma in it. It has living cells suspended in it. So if you actually see the composition of blood, it has 42 to 45% blood cells, and there is plasma, which is 55 to 58%. So what does this plasma compose of? It is 91 to 92% water, and solids are 8 to 9%. And of course, there are blood cells. So we'll come back to this again now. So the formation of blood is not only after birth, it actually starts in the fetus, in the embryo, from 4 to 9 months of age. So before the development of blood in the bone marrow, the places of formation of blood are liver, spleen, lymph node, and intestinal wall. And blood is, they continue to help in the blood formation even later. So blood is not only formed from the bone marrow. Yes, blood cells are formed from the bone marrow, but blood, since it contains various other minerals, oxygen, and blood cells, yes, so a lot of other organs also help in its formation. Uh, can my voice is echoing. Somebody is unmuted. Can everybody please mute themselves? Or Arvind sir, can you mute everybody? Okay, now it's better. So when we talk of nutrition, so nutrition, of course, is, the blood carries the nutrient elements which needs to go to the cell. So how do they get, into the blood? Then it also is it's a fluid, so it has water also. So um, from our digestive system, you will learn that in more detail later. But when we have our food, the food is digested in our digestive system, and the nutrients are absorbed starting from the stomach and mostly in the small intestine and also a bit in the large intestine. So from there, we get the water and the nutrients which go into blood, which become a part of it. Then, to trigger blood cell production, our kidneys and our liver help. How? Primarily through kidneys, a hormone called erythropoietin is released, and a bit from the liver as well, which give the signal to start producing red blood cells, which are a type of cells which we will study later. So they also help in the formation, and kidneys, of course, they also help clean the blood, and liver helps detoxify the blood. And then you have the lungs, which help in making it oxygen rich, and heart gives it the pressure to flow. So we see that blood is not only formed. So if ever a question comes that how is the blood formed, is it, so it's not only in the bone marrow. There are various, like mentioned here, organs and sub-organs which help in the formation of blood. So now we've seen the composition of blood. I'll just show it to you over here to help you understand this better. So what did we say? Most of the blood contains plasma, right? It's mostly 55 to 58% plasma and 42 to 45% blood cells. So actually, if you see, it is like this. Most is plasma. Then since the red blood cells, a type of blood cell is the maximum, so you will see red blood cells here and white blood cells, these and platelets, which are also type of blood cells. And if I show it to you here, so this is the plasma and it contains the various cells suspended in it. So now, so this contains of organic and the solid components over here, 8 to 9% consists of organic and inorganic components. So the organic components are protein, urea, uric acid, 7 to 8% fat, cholesterol, glucose, and inorganic contains ions like sodium, potassium, zero point 0.9 to 1% calcium, iron, chloride, sulfate, phosphate, bicarbonate. And there are also some elements present in the plasma which are necessary for the good quality of blood. Now, this first is albumin. Now, this is a plasma protein which is synthesized by the liver. Its quantity is the maximum, if you see, 50 to 65%. Now, it provides viscosity to blood, means it provides thickness to blood. Now, blood, if it is just fluidic, just the way, if you see water, if you make it flow, what will happen? It is very thin, it can flow anywhere. It is very fluidic, it can flow anywhere at a particular speed. Its speed will also become very high if you release water anywhere because the blood puts pressure. Now, if blood does not have a certain level of thickness, what will happen? Fluid will start collecting in lungs and various other places, and it will just, with the speed it will go, it will just burst through the cell membrane. It can damage the cells. So, for that, it requires a certain amount of thickness. And to now to be able to enter a particular semi-permeable membrane of a cell, what will happen? There is a certain pressure in which the transportation into the cell and in the blood happens. So that pressure, that osmotic pressure also, this albumin provides. So it is a very, very um, important component. Its concentration in plasma is 6 to 8 gram percent. Right now, then we have globulin. Now, plasma protein has 29 to 34% of it. It is of three types. First is alpha globulin, which is again synthesized by liver, that is 9.5 to 18%. Beta globulin, again it is synthesized by the liver, 8 to 14%. Now these proteins again provide osmotic pressure to blood, and they conjugate or they join with glucose and lipid to form glycoprotein and lipoprotein, which is required for proper functioning. Now gamma globulin is there 12 to 22%. Now please note that these are not synthesized by the liver. These are synthesized by lymphocytes and plasma cell. We will learn about them, lymphocytes, later. But these are synthesized specially by lymphocytes and plasma cells, not by the liver. So these are used to make antibodies to help the defense system of the body as per requirement. And they are of different types, which are known as immunoglobulins. Okay, they are 12 to 22%. But please remember this, that gamma globulin is the one which is not synthesized in the liver. Right? The rest all are synthesized in the liver. So now we have fibrinogen. This is 6.5 to 8%. Out of all these proteins, this is of the highest atomic mass. It is again synthesized in the liver. So this helps in clot formation. So whenever there is an injury, it will help in clot formation in the body to avoid further loss of blood due to uh, which is happening due to any injury. And it also helps in developing in the osmotic pressure in blood. Right. So in general, a question might come: what are the uh, you know elements present in the plasma? So you should be knowing it's albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen. And you can also remember that gamma globulin is not synthesized by the liver. Okay, now blood cells. In blood, the cells remain suspended, just like nucleus and other organelles remain suspended in cells. Right? Generally, the number of these cells remain constant in blood. Obviously, because a certain level has to be maintained, because any imbalance will lead to disease and issues within the body. Yeah, there has to be a balance between the production and destruction of these cells. And spleen is the graveyard of all types of cells. So now I'll move on to looking into the cells from here. Now, based on their structure and performance, the blood cells are classified into red blood cells, which are called as erythrocytes, white blood cells or leukocytes, and thrombocyte, which is also called platelets. So you can see we have the red blood cells, the platelets, the white blood cells, and this is of course the plasma surrounding. Now, erythrocytes or red blood cells. In suspended particles or the suspended cells in the blood, red blood cells are the maximum. Their number being from 5 to plus minus 0.8 million per cubic millimeter. They outnumber white blood cells in the ratio of 1,000:1. They are produced in the bone marrow continuously. Please remember, I've highlighted these 2-3 points because sometimes in the exam or in the these questions are asked. So production takes place in 9 days, the mother cells of the bone marrow. So If it is asked how many days it takes to produce red blood cell, it is 9 days. Their size is 7 to 8 micron. Their shape is that of a biconcave disc. They do not have a nucleus, so they can change their shape into a roller cylindrical form and can pass through even small 3 to 4 micron capillaries. Its cytoplasm is clear, it's transparent and pinkish due to mainly hemoglobin protein. Their lifespan is 120 days. This is again a very important thing. Their lifespan is how many days? This lasts for 120 days. Their main function is to transport breathing gases, especially oxygen. Okay. So, this thing, this there that their shape is is in the form of a roller cylindrical form. So, because of that, they can easily pass through the capillaries, or capillaries is the smallest blood vessel, which goes which sends the blood to the cell. So the smallest part of the blood vessel. Your arteries, then they further subdivide into capillaries. So that we might learn earlier. I think it's in your next semester, second semester, where you will be learning about the heart and the blood vessels, the cardiovascular system. So their shape enables them to freely pass through. Now, let's understand about hemoglobin a bit from the book first, then we'll come back here. Now, first of all, let's understand the composition of an erythrocyte. An erythrocyte has 60 to 70% water. Water is present everywhere. So your body having adequate amount in every cell. So your body having adequate amount of water is very, very important, which is passed through your digestive system also. So that is how your blood gets water. As the body reabsorbs water through the digestive system, starting from the stomach, then the small intestine, and a bit from the large intestine as well. So it has 60 to 70% water, and solid elements are 30 to 40%, out of which 0.7% are organic, which is again sodium, potassium, iron, calcium, chloride, zinc, copper, and the inorganic are protein. Ideally, I think it should be opposite. Protein, hemoglobin, then lipids, glucose, and so on. So these are your inorganic. Ideally, these should be, I think, organic elements. So they are 29.3 to 39.32. Now, hemoglobin. Now, each erythrocyte contains, this is not pictogram, this is picogram. So please correct it if you have otherwise noted down. It's PICOGRAM. It's not pictogram, it's picogram, which is like 1 trillionth of a gram. So it's contained 29 picogram hemoglobin. So in the blood of a healthy person, the concentration of hemoglobin is 14 plus minus 1 gram per 100 ml of blood. It can vary in males and females. For females, the minimum can be 12. So it varies as per male and female also, but in general, it's 14 plus minus 1 gram per 100 ml of blood. Now, if you see here, each atom of hemoglobin contains one atom of globin, which is a form of protein, and 4 atoms of hemo. Yeah, if you see here. And each hemo atom is made up of 4 pyrrole ring ferrous. Ferrous means iron atom. So one bond of ferrous is free to combine with oxygen here. This is the. Now, what is this? What is this pyrrole ring? this pyrrole ring also contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and iron. Yeah, so it is made of this and it surrounds the ferrous, right? So this is all surrounding, and this all forms into a pyrrole ring. So when we look at over here, if you see this pyrrole ring, the way, so this is the hemoglobin, the way it is there inside the blood. So this is the the molecule, the cell without the oxygen molecule, and once the oxygen comes in, if you see the blue one, which is above this, it has now gone into the hemoglobin. So if you see here, so this is a normal red blood cell. Oxygen from lungs goes through here and it seats itself here. This is the hemoglobin molecule. Oxygen has seated itself. Oxygen bonds with hemoglobin in a red blood cell. And when oxygen is released to tissue cells, this is how. I mean, again, it is back to what it was here. The hemoglobin molecule is there. So the hemoglobin atom is made up of two small amino acid chains and two long amino acid chains. So, and these chains are linked with each other by a disulfide linkage. So these chains are there; they're all linked together. Now, 100 grams of hemoglobin contains 0.338 to 0.34 grams of ferrous or iron. Yeah, so the total blood contains 3 grams of iron. One atom of hemoglobin can combine with 4 atoms of oxygen. And so 1 gram of hemoglobin can carry 1 milliliter of oxygen and it is 100% saturated condition. So the cells use only 1 atom of oxygen from hemoglobin during the circulation of blood. So you see, the cells are using only 1 atom of oxygen. Though hemoglobin can combine with 4 atoms of oxygen, the cells use only 1 atom of oxygen from hemoglobin during the circulation of blood. And when this happens, the blood in the veins become purple. Please remember this. Impure, what is the color of blood in the veins? When the blood becomes deoxygenated or impure, it becomes purple red in color. Okay. But when in arteries, it has oxygen in it. When it is pure blood or oxygenated blood, the color is scarlet red. This is asked in the exam. So please note this is specifically asked. Many a time, mostly it is asked. So please make a note of it. This one atom of oxygen takes only 0.003 seconds to combine with hemoglobin in lungs. Look at the speed. It is taking only 0.003 seconds. Within that time, this oxygen has already combined with hemoglobin in the lungs. Now, the synthesis of it begins during the generation of erythrocyte at intermediate normoblast stage and ends at the reticulocyte stage. Synthesis of hemo occurs in mitochondria and synthesis of globin in ribosomes. Synthesis of proteins normally occurs in ribosomes and their conjugation occurs in Golgi apparatus, right? The combination of different proteins to form another element, where does it happen? In Golgi apparatus, right? So actually what happens is when the erythrocyte is initially being formed, there is a nucleus in it. It is not devoid of nucleus. Slowly, the process of it losing its nucleus starts by slow shrinkage and total loss. and the cytoplasm, everything starts reducing, and finally it becomes like this. So actually, when it starts formation in the bone marrow, it has a nucleus, if you see here, and then slowly through various stages. So here the ribosome synthesis is started to happen. Hemoglobin accumulation has started to happen. Then finally the ejection of nucleus happens, and you have your erythrocyte, or the red blood cell. So erythrocytes do not have a nucleus. So during birth, due to some factors, they do not get proper amount of hemoglobin. There will be less amount of hemoglobin in those erythrocytes, no matter, even if the required factors are supplied properly. But after that, the newborn erythrocytes will be normal. Now, after 128 days, they have a lifespan of 120 days. So obviously, the catabolism, or the breaking down of hemoglobin, has to start because their lifespan is over. So what happens then? The erythrocytes absorb some water and swell, which are included in circulation of blood. The phages, basically these are macrophages present in blood. These are cells which ingest another particle and they digest them. So they present in the blood cell, they eat them up. In the blood, they eat them up, and during the circulation of blood in the spleen, the tissue of spleen, the whatever is left gets caught in them. Whatever is the remaining, they get caught in them, and here they are broken down to release hemoglobin in blood. Okay, so hemoglobin in blood, breaks down into hem and plus globin because it contained hem and globin. And the globin part goes to the storehouse of protein. Now hem contain the pyrrole chain and iron. So the iron goes to the storehouse of iron. The pyrrole converts into biliverdin, which is again further reduced to bilirubin pigment. Now, bilirubin formed in blood in this way is insoluble in water, but soluble in lipid. So this is known as hembilirubin, and kidney may excrete it in this form. So plasma albumin take it to the liver. Here it conjugates or joins with glucuronic acid and becomes water soluble. So this process is given here. So hemoglobin, the conjugation happens in the liver with glucuronic acid, and it forms cold bilirubin, and through the bile juice it goes to the duodenum, which is the first part of the small intestine that you will learn in the digestive system chapter. So it goes to the duodenum, from where partly it goes in the intestine, and its oxidation takes place by microbe. And in the stool, it is called stercobilin. And in the kidney, once the oxidation filtration takes place, it's called urobilin in urine. So this is happening in the liver. The normal value of bilirubin in blood is 0.2 to 0.8 milligram per 100 milliliter serum. the normal value of urobilin is 0.3 to 3 milligram per day in urine. Now, what is exactly now something which is written over here, which you see is serum. You notice serum is mentioned over here. So normally in a blood test, blood serum is taken. And what is serum basically is blood serum is used. So serum is blood plasma without the fibrinogen. We had read right earlier that it contains fibrinogen plasma, which helps in clot formation, right? So, but when you take blood for blood test, you need to see only this whatever is required, the cells. You don't need blood clots, the blood to start clotting in any way. So the fibrinogen is removed, and what remains then is the blood serum. So now let's study about jaundice. Now, what happens when bilirubin in blood is present more than the normal value? Now, when that happens, it combines with the elastin present in the body fluid, except the aqueous and vitreous humor of the eye, and cells except nervous tissue, and gives a yellow color. So, whenever a person has jaundice, you would notice that the person's eyes start looking yellow. Yeah, the face starts looking yellow, and slowly, then the skin, the sole, the palm will start looking yellow. Yeah, and finally, as the jaundice grows, the whole body will start, appearing yellow. So, um, if there's the symptoms of jaundice present, like vomiting, and a person is not able to eat, or there's weakness, fever, anything of this sort, and if there is a yellowish tinge in the eyes, in the face, in the palms, in the body, then one can know that yes, the bilirubin content is high because it is yellowish. Bilirubin is yellowish, so it makes when the it starts, reflecting that same color in the body. So presence of this excess bilirubin doesn't allow cell to do their normal functions. In severe conditions, the cells start dying. Now, symptoms of jaundice may occur due to three reasons. One is hepatic is liver. Whenever you say hepatic, you understand it is liver. So pre-hepatic, when the liver has got nothing to do with it, or hemolytic jaundice. Now, due to the faster hemolysis or breaking down of erythrocytes in blood, maybe due to a snake bite or transfusion of unmatched blood, and also in newborn babies, whatever the reason, um, this jaundice happens. So the liver is functioning properly. It is transforming. It's doing the process of transformation properly of this hem bilirubin into cold bilirubin. But still, there is excess amount of hem bilirubin which is entering the cell, right? Because the speed of breaking down of the erythrocytes or red blood cells is faster. So the liver is synthesizing at its optimum level, but still there is excess bilirubin which is there, which is entering into the cell. So here the liver actually is actually functioning at its optimum level. Now hepatic or hepatocellular jaundice. Now, of course, this is related to the liver only now. Here the cells of the liver swell due to thickness and block binary canaliculi. Due to the thickness, the liver cells become disabled to perform their function of conjugation efficiently. As a result, the quantity of hem bilirubin and cold bilirubin increase in the blood. So actually, um, if there is any infection or any other issue or damage in the liver cells, the cells of the liver swell and the liver is not able to perform its function of conjugation efficiently, and so the quantity of hem bilirubin and cold bilirubin is increasing in the blood. So it is like infective. It is not infective, it is infective hepatitis or jaundice. This is due to some infection or damage in the cells of the liver. Now, post hepatic or obstructive jaundice. Now, when you say obstructive, now due to some obstruction, like a stone in the gallbladder or obstacle in the bile duct, bile juice cannot reach the duodenum, and as a result, cold bilirubin increases in blood. Now, we had read right earlier that cold bilirubin through the bile juice it reaches the duodenum, but here it is not able to reach. So, if it's not able to reach the intestine, then its quantity is directly increasing in the blood. So in urine, its quantity will increase, but stool's color will be normal here. The yellowish, the color of urine will become more yellowish or darker. Now, diagnosis of these three types of jaundice by this method. So one is if you see a pre-hepatic, hepatic, and post-hepatic. So the serum bilirubin is more in both the case in all the three cases. Urine bilinogen more is much more. It can be more or plus or minus over here in post hepatic. So in pre hepatic it is more, in hepatic it is much more. The color of stool is dark here. It in pre hepatic, in hepatic it is pale, in post hepatic it is clay. And serum alkaline phosphate, it can be more or less, it can be more or less, but in post hepatic obstructive it will definitely be more. Now we come to anemia. So anemia is definitely a condition where the you don't have enough healthy blood cells, healthy red blood cells, yes, in the body. So what happens then? The mucous membrane, the nails, the skin become colorless, bloodless, pale. If adequate amount of hemoglobin is not there in the erythrocytes, and the person will feel weakness and breathlessness because obviously oxygen is not reaching. So the body is not able to utilize the oxygen for energy as well. So what is happening? There is weakness, there is breathlessness due to lack of oxygen in cells. So three situations are responsible for this. Lack of number of erythrocyte in blood means rate of formation of erythrocyte is slow in bone marrow, or lack of essential elements are there necessary for the synthesis of hemoglobin. Example, if there is malnutrition, or you have a condition called aclia gastrica, where the gastric juices or the hydrochloric acid is not there in the stomach, which helps in proper breakdown of the elements of food and the nutrition to be then absorbed. Because the absorption starts basically from the stomach itself, and hydrochloric acid helps in breaking down the food. So if that itself is not happening properly, then the nutrients and is not reaching the blood. And malnutrition, of course, if you're not one is not able to get the right food or not having a balanced diet, you have deficiencies of various vitamins, minerals, nutrients in the body, which will affect the formation of blood and blood cells like erythrocyte. Then rate of death of erythrocytes is higher than normal. So whatever is the rate of death is more higher than whatever is the normal. Like for example, during malaria or a snake bite, or when the blood transfusion has been done with unmatched blood, the death of erythrocytes will start happening faster. Then of course your body does not have enough oxygen. And due to the abnormal hemoglobin or other miscellaneous causes, for example, now we have these forms of anemia. So I'll discuss them over here. So the first was sickle cell anemia. Now over here, the red blood cells, which are usually round, they become crescent shaped because of a problem in the genes of a person. So crescent shaped is, if you know the crescent shape of a moon or a sickle shape, they become like that. And the anemia results when the red blood cells break down quickly, so oxygen doesn't get to the organs. Now, and the shape, see, normally we've seen that, the red blood cells are able to pass through in that cylindrical shape that they have. Okay, the blood vessels. But now it has a crescent shape or a sickle shape. So what happens is the red blood cells can also get stuck in tiny blood vessels. They cause pain also. And they're not able to reach where they're supposed to reach on time and properly. So you start having anemia. Now, next is thalassemia. It is inherited blood disorder, as in it's passed on from parents to children through genes again. Now, cause when the body doesn't make enough of a protein called hemoglobin, that is when here again it's not making enough hemoglobin. There the shape was affected, here it is not making enough hemoglobin. So when there isn't enough hemoglobin, the blood cells don't function properly as usual, and they last shorter periods of time. So there are fewer healthy red blood cells traveling in the bloodstream. Then there is aplastic anemia, which we will read in detail later also. It is a condition that occurs when your body stops producing enough new blood cells or may stop producing blood cells, in generally due to any reason in grave situations. The condition leaves you fatigued and more prone to infections and uncontrolled bleeding as well. Then is leukemia, which is also blood cancer. So leukemia is a cancer of the blood characterized by the rapid growth of abnormal blood cells. And so the blood cells become they're abnormal. This uncontrolled growth takes place in your bone marrow, where most of your body's blood is made. So in there itself, if abnormal blood cells are being made, so your body is not, it becomes anemic. It's not getting the required nutrients and oxygen. Now there's anemia or malignancy. Malignancy is a condition, of course, when there is cancer. Any malignant cell is a cancerous cell. So otherwise it is benign. A non-cancerous cell is, if there is any kind of cyst or anything, if it is malignant, means it has cancer. Otherwise it is benign. So anemia is a common condition of cancer patients. This is this anemia. This is because uh, cancers cause inflammation that decrease red blood cell production. Of course, chemotherapy and they go through a lot. You know, uh, they are myelosuppressive, meaning they slow down the production of new blood cells by the bone marrow. Yes, so of course there will be a decrease in the red blood cell production. And in other cases, where anemia is caused by kidney disease, so the kidneys produce a hormone called erythropoietin, which you will also hear, read in your endocrine chapter in the third semester. But for now, you can know that the kidneys produce a hormone called erythropoietin, which triggers the production of red blood cells. So if there is any issue, if there is cancer in the kidney, so that is also affected. So they could develop anemia. Now, anemia of pregnancy. So generally, it is normal to have mild anemia when there is pregnancy, but one may have more severe anemia from low iron or vitamin levels or from other reasons during pregnancy. So normally, your doctor or gynecologist would recommend iron supplements or other supplements depending on what is the need. Otherwise, if one is not getting enough iron or certain other nutrients, the body might not be able to produce the amount of red blood cells it needs to make this additional blood. Of course, the blood requirement is more. So, enough iron, the body needs enough iron and other vitamins, minerals to produce red blood cells and ensure that the person is healthy and the fetus is healthy. Now, anemia of infection. So, basically, infections, particularly chronic infections, are frequently associated with anemia. So, you might have a bacterial viral infection or conditions associated with severe sepsis, which is like blood poisoning or severe shock in the body, which may produce a fairly severe anemia of rapid onset. But the anemia of this type is, if controlled, is not usually not severe or progressive. For example, clearly in a patient with malaria, the main reason for anemia is the destruction of red blood cells by the parasite. So once if treated, so it will not be progressive. So that is what it means here. So then here we have iron deficiency anemia. This is again the main, it's more prevalent, it's very prevalent in India. So what are the causes of this iron deficiency anemia? Of course, malnutrition, lack of the nutrients, protein, vitamins, minerals, iron, and diet. So if one doesn't have a balanced diet or is not able to get the proper diet, it will lead to the blood cells will not be able to the will not be produced in the required quantities, and you have a deficiency, which will lead to anemia. Then hookworm infection. Hookworm is a type of parasite. If it can latch onto you through your foot, like if you're walking barefoot, it can latch onto you, and through your bloodstream, it can reach your intestine. Or while if you've had something which is not washed properly, their larvae also can go through food which is not probably washed properly or not cooked properly. So their larvae can go into the intestine. And once this goes there, it will eat up the nutrients there. So what does what happens in the small intestine? Basically, the maximum amount of nutrients are absorbed from the small intestine. Now you have something like this parasite there. Now, rather than passing on to the blood, this parasite is eating up the nutrients. The body is not getting it. Yes. Now, sometimes it also happens this iron deficiency anemia. It also happens due to sudden loss of blood. Sometimes, due to irregular metabolism of iron, it gets stored in spleen, liver, pancreas, or other organs. It is known as hemosidrosis. So the blood reports will show the following. The size of erythrocytes present in blood will reduce. They will become microcytic. Micro means smaller. There'll be lack of hemoglobin. The hemoglobin count will be lesser. The count of erythrocytes will decrease in all. Overall, some erythrocytes may be with holes, which are called picotic cells. If the situation continues for a long time, the patient's nails will become boat shaped and the tongue will be inflamed. Boat shaped, as in if you see, you know, the nails are bent as they go forward, they're more bent in shape, like a boat. Like a boat, the hollow portion of the boat, the nails also bend like that. Now we come to pernicious anemia. In 18th century, patients, who had this form of anemia, they could not survive. So this is called as pernicious or fatal anemia. Now, Addison in 1826 discovered the cause of this anemia. That is, if secretory glands of stomach fail to secrete digestive juice due to any reason, this type of anemia develop. So this is also known as Addison's anemia. So we'll just study a little. So pernicious anemia, it is a relatively rare autoimmune. It's an autoimmune disorder that causes diminishment in dietary vitamin B12 absorption, resulting in B12 deficiency and subsequent megaloblastic anemia. Now, for formation of red blood cells, B12 is very, very important. So, if there is B12 deficiency, that means your red blood cells are not being formed properly or in the required quantity. So, megaloblastic anemia is a form of anemia characterized by very large red blood cells and a decrease in the number of those cells. Mega, they become. So, the body needs vitamin B12 to make red blood cells. So, a special protein called intrinsic factor binds vitamin B12 so that it can be absorbed in the intestines. This protein is released by cells in the stomach. So, when the stomach does not make enough intrinsic factor, then the intestine cannot properly absorb vitamin B12. Okay, then there are neurotrophic factors, which means there are a group of proteins that support the growth, survival, and differentiation of both developing and mature neurons. Neurons are nerve cells. So you will learn them in the nervous system chapter. So, neurons are nerve cells. So proper functioning of neurotrophic factors is essential for the overall health and plasticity or adaptability of the nervous system. They are involved in processes such as synaptic plasticity, learning, and memory. So even nerves need vitamin B12 to function properly. So if vitamin B12 is not present, neither are your red blood cells are being produced in the right quantity, and your nerves are also being affected. Sir, can I continue right now and finish anemia? Arvind sir?
You should,
Yeah, Devika ma'am, you can.
you should,
Yes.
you should continue.
Okay, okay. I'll finish the anemia bit today then. Thank you. So, so of course, these patients show the following symptoms: pernicious anemia, as we just discussed that. Then, acylic gastrica, of course, the formation of hydrochloric acid is not happening properly. So, the breaking down of food is not happening. And if the food is not broken down first self and a few nutrients are not absorbed in the stomach, then of course, the required nutrients are not going for the formation of the red blood cells. Then, of course, subacute combined degeneration of nerves happen. Okay. So, what happens is now following others again symptoms of this anemia. Your macrocytic normochromic cells means erythrocytes may be enlarged in size but may have normal value of hemoglobin. So macro means large. The color remains the same because the normal value of hemoglobin. So the cells enlarge in size. Some erythrocytes may be nucleated. Now we have studied that erythrocytes once mature do not have nucleus, but these may become nucleated. Obviously, then how will they function? The total count of erythrocytes in blood will be less, so hemoglobin will be less. The enlarged size of erythrocytes will have shorter lifespan. So instead of 120 days, they have a shorter lifespan. So the level of serum bilirubin will be increased because erythrocytes will get hemolyzed in large number. Just are breaking down. The hyperplastic activity will be found in the bone marrow test. As in, the bone marrow on its own will start. It will work. It will try to work hard to produce red blood cells. That hyperplastic, it's like become hyper. So that kind of activity will be found in bone marrow test. And of course, hydrochloric acid will not be present in gastric juice. So this is how you get to know about this anemia. Now we have aplastic anemia. Due to some reasons, the bone marrow stops to develop all type of blood cells or reduces to a quite degree. So, quite an extent, the development of blood cells. Now, what causes this? If there is use of radiation for test or treatment like chemotherapy or any other form, if you are in a place where there is a lot of radiation, that affects the bone marrow. Now, due to benzene toxicity, which is used to make rubber, gum, and resin soluble, so this benzene, which is used with toxicity, that affects the formation of red blood cells. Now, toxicity of some medicines or whole compound. So, these patients will have continuous fever because of continuous decreases of amounts of blood, which is the medium of temperature regulation system. There will be ulcers in oral cavity and pharynx. Yes. So in the blood test, pancytopenia means count of all type of blood cells will decrease. There will be enlarged erythrocytes with normal value of hemoglobin, but hemoglobin percent will decrease. So what we were studying, macrocytic, normochromic, yeah, or enlarged erythrocytes. Thrombocyte will decrease. We will learn about thrombocytes now later. Thrombocytes will decrease in count and bone marrow will be hypoplastic. Okay, now as in earlier it was hyper and here it is hypo. So it will slow down. So up to here, I hope it is clear to everyone. Now, sir, should I then continue the rest in the next class?
Yeah. Yes. Next class is here.
Okay, sir. I will continue. So I hope everything is clear now to everyone up to what is being taught today. If there is an issue, you can please, post your questions in the group. And please go through whatever has been shared today. So it will help you understand now further as we go. Because if you don't go through what we've studied today, the next time you may not get what we are studying very clearly. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Devika.
you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Devika. Virtually, why we are studying blood? Because of this blood test, we can be certain what constituents of blood is lacking in us. And there are treatments, there are protocols for increasing hemoglobin, treatments, protocol for increasing red RBC, treatment protocol for increasing your platelet. But this research work, whatever modern science has done, that it can count the blood constituents in our philosophy, in our science, that is acupressure, it is not there. So we are taking help of that one. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Devika. Then Dr. Jaya Goel is present. We welcome Dr. Jaya Goel to present the treatise 1, chapter 3, I think. I should
Yes.
share.
5 Shu Points.
Yeah.
We were discussed yesterday also the 5 Shu Points. Uh, some part of the 5 Shu Points. Hope you have remembered. There, I just give a brief of that yesterday. Then we continue further. Where the 5 Shu Points are the 5 points on each meridian. That means 12. We have 12 meridians and 5 on each. That means 60 in total, and we called it 60 command points. And 5 Shu Points have a hierarchy that like Jingwell point, Yang Spring Point second, then third is Shu Stream Point, fourth Jing River Point, and last fifth and now not the last but not the least, he she points. It is we have studied Jingwell Point yesterday. It is that in Jingwell Point is for the acute diseases, acute condition for the acute condition, and it is usually present near the nails of our fingers or toes. Only the K1, that's kidneys, Jingwell Point, is present in the sole of the foot, and GV, governing vessel GV 26 is present here on the between the lips and the nose, center point of, yeah. So and K1 and KGV 26 is very essential points, and it is important for uh, many reasons, and there are that were discussed yesterday. As for high blood pressure, we use K1 to reduce the pressure. And if low blood pressure, we use GV 26. And if somebody is faint, then we press these 2 points to recover that person. Now we will move on the Yang Spring points. As we discussed this, the hierarchy is accordingly that energy, in which the more the energy, and next the point. Like earlier, well has the limited water, that's why it's named Jing well. Then the spring has more water than well, but less than the stream. Then a young spring point. Then stream has more water than river. River has more water than stream. Then and fourth number it comes Jing river point. Then in the last, the sea has the maximum water. Then it is Hishi point. We can say it is about that water in the energy, and water is considered as the energy. This point has more energy, easy to reach. Then we use Jingwell point. After that, we come on the Yang Spring point. They are, and then young spring point, there is a organs. We had studied that we have two types of organ: yin organ and yang organ. Yang organ has in young spring point meridians, fire points of yin organs are yang spring point, and yang organ water points of yang organ is young spring points. And you can see in these points, if for the remembering it will be very easy to remember. Here if you have remembered the control cycle, fire is controlled by water. In a young spring point, yin organ point is fire point, and yang organ point is water. They are correlating this way. You will always remember that, and in these you or see this thing in everywhere. In stream also, earth and wood. This is how you can remember for the exam also. It is easy to remember. While doing the treatment also, you can, if remember this thing, then easy to recall. That's why. Uh, Now indication when we can give febrile fever means disease means fever when body temperature is elevated over 99.5 Fahrenheit, or you can say 37.5 Fahrenheit, then it is called febrile disease, other and other acute disease. We use these points. And water points of yang meridian uh, are used to treat the hotness symptom. Water point of the yang meridian, hotness symptom is used to treat with this. And for the coldness symptoms, we use the fire point of yin meridian in this condition. And hotness symptoms are fever, red tongue, too much of the thirsty person. If too much of thirst is too much thirsty and crave for the cold drink, want to drink a cold, likes the cold food and cold water, lips become dry and because of the red dry and cracky because of the dryness. These are the symptoms which are used for the hotness symptoms. Along with these symptoms, person will be short tempered and always restless, feeling of hotness and burning sensation in the extremities. Is the some symptoms in which we give the water points of yang meridian. uh, by, constipation, fast pulse, less urination, and hot feeling. These are the conditions. And for the hot coldness condition, symptoms, person will sleep on one side with the folded legs, and does not want to talk, and patients nails are moonlight. Yes, you will see the white line in this the nails, which is moon like line. There are some patient and yellow or black lips because of the coldness. White tongue, mm, cough in the excess and lack of thirst. And patient will not feel thirsty, and he or she will not drink water for a long time. Never ask for water. And he will like always the hot food and hot drinks, excessive saliva and excessive urination will be there. And these are the symptom of coldness symptoms: loose motion, slow pulse, and cold hand. Like just like opposite to the hotness symptom. And for these we give the fire point on the yin meridian for the for the treatment of these symptoms. Now we come on the Shu stream points. Yin organ, earth point, and yang organ, wood point. Again, they are wood is the controller of the earth point. You will learn it, but for this, and it these Shu stream points are given on the rheumatoid disease. Yeah, chronic or subacute stage. Rheumatoid disease, the small joints, fingers and toes, hand and or the foot, toes has pain, and sometimes its shape is also changes. The small joints of hand and legs are treated with Shu stream points for rheumatoid disease. Shu stream points are important for transfer and exchange of the energy. Earth point of the yin organ are also organ source point, which organ source points are we will study in the next chapter. Mm, earth earth point of yin organ are the organ source point. To treat the earth point of yin organ is used to treat the rheumatoid disease and humidity disorder, including blockage of nose, yellow complexion, opposed breathing, and swollen nose, gynecological condition. These are the points. Liver 3. First, we indicate the meridian. LIV is indicating the liver meridian. Third point of liver meridian is called liver 3. P7, H7 like heart 7, H for heart, P for pericardium, K for kidney. So first, like this, we can indicate write the meridian points. SP3, LU9. These are the earth point of the yin organs. treat wood point of yang organ for the weakness of the muscles, depletion of liver key also. Wood point of a yang organ we will use for the weakness of muscle and depletion of the liver key. Points are the GB41, TW3, UB65, SI3, ST43, and LI3. These are now we come on the fourth point of the five shoe points. That is Zing River Point. Any query till now? Okay, I hope I think you can understand this. And now, Jing River Point, yin organ is the metal points of the yin organ, are the Jing River Point. These points usually present in the wrist and the ankle of the foot. Wrist in hand and ankle in foot. These points are located on this wrist and the ankle. And yang point organ points are fire points, and yin organ points are metal points. Yeah, the indication for these points are problem related to breathing, breathlessness, coughing, irregular body temperature. These are, and in this patient feels hotness at one time and coldness at another time. It is not so that he will feel hotness only or coldness only. Anytime he say, "Oh, it's too hot," and for after few time, patient will say, "It is I am feeling cold." Body temperature is not same all the time. And treatment of metal points of in organ for the treat the obstructions obstruction in breathing, obstructed breathing, coughing, deficient and defensive energy. These are the yin organ for metal point for of yin organ. And treatment of fire point of yang organ is to expel coldness, redishness, mm, mm, re-establish the normal temperature. Uh, to re-establish the normal temperature and expel the coldness, we used to use treat the fire point of yang organ. And these are already I told you it is located in the wrist or the ankle. As we easy to find there. A special note, mm, strength to strength the defense against the external agents. Defense against the external agent, we use the metal point of in organ, that is Jing River Point, and the earth point of Yang organ, that is He She points. to strengthen the defense against the external agents. Now we will move on the mm, he she points. He she points mean the lots of energy over here. We can get lots of energy by giving the treatment on these points. These points usually located near the knee or the elbow. Knee in the leg and the elbow on the hand. Yin organ, water point. Yin organ is water point is he she point, and yang organ earth point is he she point. Uh, Indications is the external factors have affected and the excuse me, just sorry. When the external factors means the outside factors are affecting our internal environment, like temperature or an infection is affecting us. Contraction is the opposite flow. Um, mm, uh, Contraction is the contraction means contraction arises means opposite flow, and then that is there. Then the we used to treat the he she points, and in diarrhea also we used to treat with the he she points. Opposite flow of the energy means the direction of the energy is going in the opposite direction, or we can say body fluid is going in the opposite direction, like vomiting, hiccups, nausea. These are the symptoms of contraction. That means the energy is not flowing in in its pathway. It is flowing in the opposite direction of the its pathway. Like we eat food and it goes into stomach. It is and when we do the vomiting, it comes out of mouth. This is the opposite flow. Same way, mm, blinching, excessive mm, things are the intermittent fever, trembling of the trembling, hands, extremities are keep on shaking. Yeah, trembling of extremities, heat sensation in the body and especially in the head. Where cold hand extremities cold extremities means hands and feet are hands and feet are cold. When we touch them it is like ice cold sometime. If you look, if a person will feel that we are touching the ice. ST 636 means Stomach 36 is we give the treatment for these problem mentioned above. Okay, these for these problem we give uh, stomach treatment on the ST36 on the stomach meridian, and the treatment on treatment on this and this energy center of the body corrects the contraction and fundamental for Rishi points. Mm. Sir, come down on the next page. Yes, sir. Treatment of contraction and imbalance of the body fluid. When there is contraction and the body fluid is to be treated with the yin organ points, water points of yin organ to expel the body fluid. Um, Liver 8, P3, H3, 3, SP9, LU5, and K10. Liver 8 is treated for loose muscles also because of the water deficiency and helps to putting on the weight. And SP9 is the expel excess of the fluid. These are two points which are specifically given for expellation of fluid, SP9, and loose muscle, liver 8. Uh, uh, Treating the contraction and imbalance of the vital energy for treating the contraction with the imbalance of vital energy. For treating imbalance and body fluid, we give the water point of yin organ, and for vital energy, imbalance of vital energy, we give earth point of the yang organs. And GB34 is treated for the traveling sickness. Where you have when some people have the traveling sickness, if they are going somewhere, they travel for a long time, they has sickness and feel vomiting tendency. For that we give the GB34. ST36 is cure erection. Best point for the acidity. By treating this point, we can reduce the acidity. ST36 Li11. Um, we can cure high blood pressure. These points also reduce the pain in the liver. 11 is controls the body temperature also. Used to control the body temperature. For trembling of hand. Trembling contraction appear when shows the trembling hand and feet. We treat the for trembling hand with supporting there we treat with the LI11, TW10, SI8, H3, P3, LU5, and supporting point for this which help more treatment become more effective with the Shu Stream Point, Li 3, TW3, Si3, H7, P7, Lu9. For trembling feet, ST36, UB54, GB34, liver 8, K10, and SP9. And so for supporting, again in this also, Shu Stream Points are there. GB for 41, UB 65, ST 43, liver 3, K3, SP3 to strengthen the defense against external agent. To get the strength against the external agent, we use the metal points of yin organ and earth point of yang organ. These both are help to for the defense from the external organ. Now we study about the indications of. This is the chart. Sir, please come down on the next page. Relax. Indication five Shu points. These are the gist of what we have studied earlier. It is the gist like what we will use and what are the treatment we will give in which condition. It is helpful in the diagnosis also. Like Jingwell point for the acute emergency, acute trouble midriff, acute then like young spring is febrile disease means temperature high or coldness and hotness. Yin points are for the coldness and yang points for the hotness. Rheumatoid steam for rheumatoid, painful joints, yin points, and weak flaccid and numbness joints, yang points. Breathlessness, coughing problem, and body temperature, for lung problem, deficiency of the defensive energy. We treat the yin point and deficiency of fire we treat with the yang point. And for Hishi points, contravection for fluid, yin point, and contravection for energy, yang point. We can treat, sir, please do the page up. Mm, we can treat treat the five Shu points according to the season also. Like for spring needle season, spring Jingwell point for summer needle. In summer, young spring point. For late summer, Jing River Point, and winter for winters, Hishi points. We use these points for mm, the season according to the season also. Like sudden storm, spring disease come in the human body and create a acute emergency. We treat the Jingwell point. It's because of the acute emergency. like in sunstroke, summer we use manifest with in the different types of symptom in body on the same line. If a stroke manifest in the fever or acidity, etc., then the treatment would be young spring point, as we read, for various, like rainy season. For rainy season is late summer, excessive humidity, various problem like hotness, chillness, cough, breathlessness, increase in breathlessness, and then the treatment would be on the Zing River Point, where when the season of the late summer hot wind reduce, but hotness remain, then the we with sure stream point for rheumatoid numbness, and because of too much of cold winter, like high blood pressure, cancer, edema, cold retention, water retention, knee pain, elbow pain, joints pain, we treat the he she points. When the chronic disease become a uh, when disorder become the internal and chronic, then we should treat he she point. And this is all about the 5 Shu points. Any query in this point, in this 5 Shu point? And next we come on the, this is the synopsis of next is the chart. This chart paper, next we have a chart on page number 26 and 27. And in this we have a time clock also given, and complexion for the diagnosis for related to the uh, related with the meridian. And the treatment in meridian points also, and these are the which you have to learn and study by yourself. If anything you want to ask, you can ask in next class, or you can ask on the group also. In this chart, because anything you want to be clarify in this, it is very good for it is the gist which we have studied till now. And on page number 28 and 29, there are 6 command point all together with us. This is a Jingwell point, and what are the condition in which point will treat which condition. This is, you have to learn it, and it will help in future also, and in your exams also. These tables are very important for our, when we practice and when we give treatment to somebody, it is very helpful to us. Uh, all these two tables are for are the gist of the 5 Shu points which we have discussed earlier, and it makes easy to learn also.
Any question?
So, any question, or anybody want to explain anything in this table, then please.
Amila, ma'am? Any question? Angela ma'am?
No, not today.
Then we move on the next chapter. It is our organ source point or yang source point. It is a very important point. It is chapter number 4. Today we cannot complete this chapter. I will just give you a brief gist of about this chapter, and so that you can read it and
No. Well, first of all, these 5 Shu points.
only
Virtually,
5 should come?
what-
Okay.
only these 5 Shu points. What
Okay.
5 Shu points are there? First of all, we have to understand these 5 Shu points are the points which are according to disease condition. What is disease condition? First of all, it is acute disease. We say it acute disease. Acute means it has just come, and this the environmental energy, the cosmos energy comes in the form of coldness, in the form of hotness, in the form of humidity. Humidity, what is it? Water as well as fire. This is humidity. So this comes through cosmos, and our body cannot cope with the pressure of that one. This is acute condition. Now you can understand from Zingwell point. Zingwell point, they are for the acute conditions. Suppose a disease comes, this is your first. That is, it is in the nature of young disease. Then you have to treat this Zingwell point, and remedy is there. Then again, what happens? And these are said to be on the nails, either nails of the hand or nails of the toes. So this is a condition for acute disease, as well as for young disease, young nature of disease. So we have to understand the nature of disease too. This is young nature of disease. Yang is the energy, the hotness energy, the key which we say key, the energy of the environment comes. Now, again, the disease either travels inside our body or it goes out. If it goes out, it is doesn't matter. Now it comes, then it is young spring points are there. Hotness, body becomes hot or cold due to the seasons and all that. So this febrile disease starts yuan spring. That means it is the disease is entering into our body too and affecting our body in a way that our defensive energy is not sufficient enough. Then again, then if that happens and our defensive body is not strong enough to, then the disease enters more inside our body. It can be understood. And this is true stream point rheumatism, painful joints, weak, flaccid, numb joints. These all happen. Then we have to treat Shu stream points. Now again, the energy is our energy is not sufficient. Then disease comes inside, and defensive energy is not sufficient. Then we have these Jing river points. Now, the worst case is the he-she points. These are contravections. Now, what happens? The energy flows in a certain direction. If it goes up, it should go. But what is contravection? Suppose we have got an angle of 0 up to 360 degree. Now, 0 to, if energy is going towards 0 degree, and now it is transferred towards 10, 20, 30, 40 degree, then it means it is contravection. Not only that, but it will just go upward and backward. No, if it has to go upward, and it is directed towards right direction or left direction, even then we can term it contravection. So this contravection is the fifth stage. Rather, yeah, in this one, you can say it is the fifth stage of disease which enters into your body, and then we have to treat the he-she point, the strongest points. In this way, we can treat these points, and you can understand from toes, from nails, up to the level of in hand joints, and in foot, from the toes, from the nails of the toes, and up to the level of joints, knee joints. These points are situated. So the disease is, you can understand, the disease is entering inside you. That is the case. In this way, these five Shu points should be treated, and points are given. No doubt, we don't know about the points, but some important point will be uh, given to you, and some we are preparing some uh, video, like video or audio, whatever it may be, that should tell us the though it is given in the pages 120, 124, 124 pages onwards in treatise 1. Still, we wish to tell you something about them, and we will tell you. And we have to learn the lungs meridian. The meridian, we have not come through this one meridian. Just understand this one. The cosmos energy, which we were talking of, this comes from 3 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the level of lungs. This is highest energy. The lungs gets highest energy at that point, at that time, 3 to 5 a.m. Then from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., 2 hours only. From 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., it goes into large intestine. From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., it goes to stomach. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., it goes to spleen. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., it goes to heart. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., it goes to small intestine. Then from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., it goes to urinary bladder. Then from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., it goes to kidney. Then from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., it goes to pericardium. Then from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., it goes to triple warmer. Then from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., it goes to gallbladder. And from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., it goes to liver. This is the condition. Now, lungs meridian is the first meridian according to this cycle. Lungs meridian, which starts at about 3 a.m. That means it accepts energy from cosmos at about 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Now it starts from clavicle bone. Just see location 124 page. It starts from clavicle, near clavicle bone, and round about through two kuns. Kun is the inner measurement point, unit of measurement. That is the the breadth of this thumb is said to be 1 kun. This is the measurement, and your measurement is different from other men. It is different from each one. For each one, it is different. We have to suppose we have to measure the kun of the patient. Then patient hand should be used, not ours. So this kun, round about 2.5, 2 kuns, round about 2 kuns from nipple and clavicle bone. So it starts from this place and it goes to this one, thumb, and this at this level, where I've added point. This goes to thumb lane. This is given, and this is the first one at 3 a.m. Now the lever is the last one. It starts from big toe and it goes up to the level of midriff, just below nipples and all that. That means the whole energy is circulated. The whole cycle is completed at this point, which starts from this place, and energy, the last energy of liver comes to midriff, that is below nipples and all that. That means this energy is the cycle of energy is complete. The whole energy, the whole body's energy is complete. And there are 12 meridians, each one having one organ. In one yang organ, one yin organ. But there are two controlling meridians too. They are said to be conception vessel meridian and governing vessel meridian. Conception vessel meridian just divides you into two parts. From gonadal area up to this level. Gonadal area up to this level, it comes just between the sternum and all that. It is just on the side of sternum and it goes to this one. And this governing vessel, which controls all yang organs, meridians, it starts from coccyx, that is tailbone. Near tailbone, it starts, and up this just come through spine and it comes this one and it goes inside your mouth. That means this governing the governing meridians, they also make a cycle. This from frontal side conception vessel meridian, and this governing vessel meridian from back side. Urinary bladder meridian, you will understand, urinary bladder meridian is very important for us. It is associated with your spinal cord. So what goes through spinal cord meridian, that is governing vessel meridian. Hence, please note down, governing vessel meridian and UB meridian are very important for spinal purposes. For energy purposes, since the frontal parts is yin and the back part is yang. Hence, GV meridian, which controls all yang meridians, governing vessel meridian, which controls all yang meridian, is also associated with, is just nearby. UB meridian, it is in between, and UV meridian just covering that one, and it circles the governing vessel meridian. It is also important for all psychological problems. This UV meridian is also related to all psycho mental problems. Conception vessel meridian goes through sternum, and it is separating the whole body, whole frontal body into two parts. That means it is lies in the center of the your frontal part. Now, nearby that meridian, this is controlling meridian of in all in organs. This is controlling meridian of all in organs. And beside that, kidney meridian goes. Kidney meridian goes, which comes from the toe, from the just I can say it now. You cannot say. I can say that it starts from a small finger of a small toe, a small toe, or on the back of the palm, uh, on the front palm side, center where center lies there, just in foot. It starts from that one and it goes to this one, this level. So kidney meridian is very important for all conception vessel meridian. And you are just listening. What conception means is, conception is very important for gynecological problems. Hence, kidney meridian has got more importance in gynae problems. And beside this kidney meridian goes stomach meridian. Hence, stomach meridian, kidney meridian, and conception vessel meridian are very important for gynae problems too. Kidney meridian is controlling. Kidney meridian is controlling your energy, not only your energy, the inherent energy, but also the three openings of the body: the anus, the urinary opening, and the third opening too, reproductive organ. So it is controlling the whole one. That's why the problems of gynae, the problems of any urogenital system should be treated by kidney. Hence, kidney has got importance. Kidney is the controller of all our inherent energy. Hence, prenatal energy, or you say the problems which are inherited, for those problems too, kidney has got importance. Kidney controls uterus too. Kidney controls ovary too. Kidney controls prostate gland too. Hence, kidney has got more importance. Now, third meridian, gallbladder meridian, is the meridian which just wanders round about this one head 2 or 3 times. Hence, it has got more importance for brain purposes. Hence, any problems of brain, any problems of young energy rising, this should be treated. Gallbladder meridian, that has got very importance. So we should treat like this one, and organ source point we will discuss later on. Dr. Jaya will take the classes next time. But we are more concerned with the understanding of meridians, with the concept, because meridians, until unless you understand meridian, the yang and the yin, we cannot understand. There are 60 command points. We should learn them because kidney 3 is very important for us, liver 3 is very important for us. Any digestive system problem is associated with number 1 stomach, SI, LI, pancreas, and liver too. In modern science, this is not explained. They cannot say that for digestive problems, liver is important. But we say that since at the level of duodenum, you will learn to know next, you will learn later on in digestive system problem, then that bile juice, it goes when you eat fat, then at the level of, after coming from the stomach, the bile, as these fat molecules come, the sensors just tell that it has come. Now what gallbladder does, gallbladder just starts pouring the molecules of bile juice drop by drop, and it goes through pancreatic duct, one bile duct coming from upper level, and then it is mixing with pancreatic duct starting from pancreas and transferring pancreatic juice. This will, along with pancreatic juice and bile juice, they mix and then go to duodenum, the first level of small intestine, the first part of there. That means in metabolism, pancreas and liver, gallbladder has got importance too. Not only stomach, not only SI, not only LI, large intestine, not only small intestine, but also gallbladder, liver, and pancreas have got importance. That's why in the case of diabetes, we have to treat not only pancreas, but also liver, but also gallbladder, but also stomach. That is the funda. And kidney is the controlling. Kidney, since kidney is the controlling, hence we cannot ignore kidney. Kidney is very important for the age after 50 years. For above 50 years person, whether it is, whether she is lady or he is agents, they must treat kidney 3 point. We will tell you where it is, but they should always tone kidney. It is not important that you are healthy. It doesn't matter you are healthy, but kidney is kidney essence. We say kidney essence in our terminology. We say kidney essence. It is always depleting, whether it is form of energy or it is form in the form of liquid. Okay. Um, so anything else we need?
Arvind sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
The question is, uh, how Or what are
It
the
is,
points what are the points we can use for PCOS?
yes.
Mm.
For, in Chinese theory, we uh, since I'm uh, dealing with the Ayurvedic pressure too, Ayurvedic acupressure too, then I can explain in uh, uh, Ayurvedic concept. But kidney and governing vessel meridian is more important. You can send the case and in the group, and we will show you the chart, or we will explain all the points. But kidney 3 is a point which should be treated, and for because and hormonal, this is virtually hormonal problem is also there, because pituitary gland is there. So it is a case of hormones as well as kidney, and liver has got role in PCOS. PCOS and PCOD, they are more or less the same or different, the same one. But we have got protocol in Ayurvedic acupressure too. And late YNM, we can, in YNM, if we if we can discuss about YNM, we can treat kidney 1, kidney 1, and and triple warmer 1 tone, both tone, kidney 1 tone, triple warmer 1 tone, and liver 1 tone. Regarding any subject wise discussion, any question? Sir, Kelvin sir, any question from you?
Just an observation or something that I was taught before concerning energy again. Energy. I know you had to mention about the cosmos, which is the sky, the ocean, the environment. Then, you mean by cosmos? I read where we get most of our energy from the surrounding, the cosmos. Oh, no, sorry, the air that we breathe. We get most of our energy from the air that we breathe through prana and so forth.
Mhm.
They said that we get 54% of the energy from the air that we breathe. We get energy from the food that we eat, food and water,
Yeah.
which is about 18% energy
Mm.
from food and water. And no, I think it's food and water we get 18%, and we get 28% again from other energies, any other energies. But most of the energy we get is from the air that we breathe. And we tend to spend more emphasis on food, which we get less. And I think food is 18%, sorry. Food is 18% energy. All right.
In modern science, it is all defined in modern science. What modern science says, that it is food, vegetables, air, these are water, these are all energies. But there is a virtually this is a philosophical concept, and we say that no, the energy which you get through your parents, through God, that is different energy, that is stored in kidney. That energy form you cannot measure in modern science. At the same level, cosmos energy, which is not air, which is not water, which is it, it comes through us. That is there. Sun is also energy. Light is also energy. These energy we just get, we cannot measure, and we are not going to measure it. In modern science, we are not measuring it. But we say,
Okay.
you sit in sun, then you will get vitamin D. But why vitamin D is prepared out of that one? We don't, we just say this is just one, there is just interact and all that. But can you quantify that amount? No. We say it is cosmos energy which comes through us, and we say during clock hours it comes in one organ. It comes to your one, and it is in mixed with your earthly water. This is earthly one, we say spleen. Spleen energy, we say earthly energy. Food, intake of food, water, air, this is all earthly energy. And then kidney, three energies type are there: kidney, earthly energy, and cosmos energy. We are not going to measure this cosmos energy.
Okay. Yeah, understood.
There are, we will learn to know, we will later on learn the organ source point. Now the chapter will come. Organ source point are the points where kidney energy has come, stored, and it has traveled through that organs, and then the storage is there, like battery and inverter. Then again there will, you will come to know this Z cleft point is there. That is the highest energy source, and it is like a reservoir. Then for infection treatment, suppose infection is there, we will then use organ source fine tone and Z cleft point sedate. And in Ayurvedic, we will say, since we don't know the concept of tam and atma, now until unless I tell you all dravyas, I cannot say. But when I tell you dravya, you just treat, if anger is there, it is due to liver. You can see the chapter, the page number. You can see page number 4 of treatise 1. This is organ, this is energy, and this is season 2. There is a life cycle 2, direction 2, opening, eyes. Liver opens in eyes. Kelvin sir, liver opens in eyes. If your eyes are affected, it is due to liver. First of all, first and foremost reason for eyes ailment is liver. Suppose one is stammering, tongue opening, you just say tongue, it is due to tongue. That means it is due to heart. Suppose stage phobia is there, you cannot talk in stage, you cannot speak on a stage, then you have to treat the heart. Then comes mouth. If anything happens in your mouth, it means this is related to earth, that is stomach. The stomach heat is responsible for your source and all that. If stomach heat is there, you just think stomach heat is there, it will come, the heat will go upwards. What is the nature of heat? The heat will go upwards. It will create some pressure on your chest. Then again it will go to this throat level, and this will kitch. This will start from this one. And then again it will go to your eyes, and it will create cataract. If it goes to your nasal cavity, then nasal problems will be there. If it goes to your head, it will create either baldness or something uh, blackish hair will go out. If you go to teeth, the gums, the teeth will be pale. This is the this is the funda. These are the just principles. Since we are starting, so we cannot say that this is huge. C is there. We have to first go to some well, then stream, then all that. That is C. So there are, and if you treat that beneficial, I'm sure you are benefited for that. I have said you this eyes massage should be there, and everyone should do it. Eyes massage every day, and it will create some benefits to you. Yes. If you can do 2 or 3 times, 3 occasions in 24 hours, morning, evening, and all that 2 times, and only for 10 or 20 times, 10 times, 10 times, only 10 times, full. You will feel it. But since we have to understand, we are just reading ABCD. We are just we have to just learn more. Pamela ma'am, anything else?
Yes, sir. One more thing.
Hmm?
One thing. I observe that I have so much anger. What will you advise?
Liver 3 sedate. Liver 3 sedate.
Yes, I know. I want to share that
And
advice for many people.
you have to, and this allergy problem is also due to liver, because liver has a strong liking and disliking. Kelvin sir, because liver has got strong liking and disliking, hence liver should be treated if you are just in the state of strong liking or strong disliking. And since my birth organ is liver, I am also suffering from that one. And you please send your date of birth, no, but days of birth, date only, date only, in month and date only, not year. And we will tell you what your birth organ is, so that we should be conscious about that one, that organ. If liver is there, we should be conscious of that one, because anger is there. Liver's gallbladder anger is spontaneous, young nature. This is gallbladder is young. Its nature is, you said, you just page number 4. It is written emotion, anger with wood, with liver and gallbladder. Anger is written. So anger is there. Suppose spontaneous anger is there, it is gallbladder, young nature, young energy, young nature. But liver is in. So it stores anger. It stores anger. And manifestation may be 4 years, 5 years after. That is the nature. We have to understand yang and yin. Every time we have to understand this one. And if anyone is more joyous, joy is the emotion of heart. If one is more joyous, it is also a problem. If one is more happy, it is also a problem. Because we just say it is a case of balance. We should be in balance stage. Then, Amela ma'am, anything else? Should we close down?
Yes, we can close.
The classes from Saturday and Sunday, if we are doing this way, and if we are doing justice to those who are concerned with us, we have to continue up to March. Because 2 days only, and suppose 20 days, 40 hours only. Before 40 hours, we cannot complete the whole course. Because only 2 hours are given, and Saturday, Sunday. In this way, we are crossing, I think, 15th of March. We will cross roundabout 15th of March. And 6th April onwards, classes from ASPAS will be started. When you will start attending classes of ASPAS, these terms which we say, which you have just listened, learned, they will help you out. I'm sure. More or less, we have to learn more, and we will. We are just preparing some video in the form that it should be displayed for Ayurvedic acupressure. I showed you the chart, and we will tell you on these fingers too, because maybe our Niranjan can tell us, but Niranjan will tell in its manner, in his manner. That's why this is a problem. English is a problem for that one, for them. That is the problem. Otherwise, your practical classes can be taken. He is taking practical classes in Hindi section. I have given five classes for him. But since there is nobody English section, that's why there is a problem. Otherwise, practical classes might be there online.
We can still ask him, get him to do something.
Whom?
Niranjan.
No, Niranjan. How can he? He will tell okay, I'll attend, but that is not beneficial, I think, for that purpose, because he has to speak the terms in his language. That is a problem. Language is problem sometimes. No, you can very well understand. That's the some problem is there. That's why. Otherwise, it was great for us. But even then, we will learn it. We will learn it undoubtedly. We will through these videos and all that. We will learn. We will tell you some more classes will be there, and some more persons will be involved. And I will involve some more persons, and I will, since it is in March, 15th March, it is long gap. I will say something. I will prepare something. Okay, Calvin sir. Namaskar. Again, good morning to everybody who are in USA and other states, and good evening to those who are in India. Namaskar.
Namaste.